Do you think it's difficult going to a club like Manchester United? I mean, you obviously made that transition from Tottenham, the scale of the place, the kind of scrutiny that you get. With modern day football being as it is now and the kind of eyeballs from social media and what have you, do you think it's a particularly difficult challenge to go to Manchester United as a player or even as a new manager?
It is difficult. Let me tell you, it can be intimidating. I was intimidated when I stepped foot into the dressing room full of winners and everybody there. And I was like, oh my God, I was confident of what I was doing on the pitch. But at the same time, this was something different. This was the next level, the last level in my development. And I was intimidated, and I was keeping to myself because I was a bit more private, which was a mistake, because if I can go back, I was going to be more open with my teammates and everything. But I was like that back then, and intimidated, a bit like doubting myself from time to time. But everybody was so great in trying to put me into the team straight away and welcome me. So everybody was great. But now it's even more difficult, in my opinion, because as you mentioned, social medias, and you, in a way, you don't have a private life. You're out there for everybody to see you. And if you have a bad game, a bad pass, a missed goal, people will let you know about that. And you cannot escape that criticism. And we're all human beings, and that can affect your performance for the next game or for the season, in a way. So you need to be strong in your head, because this is your profession. You're paid to do this, and you need to know the challenges ahead of you.
And just on your move from Tottenham to Manchester United, it was obviously deadline day. There was lots of talk about it at the time. Manchester City were in for you. There's a famous song about you and what you might have said to Manchester City at that time. Do you have any second thoughts on that? I mean, what was that period like for you?
Can I swear here?
You're allowed to swear. You can. Did you tell them to off?
That was a true story, because I can be really direct when I wanted to be. And as I said before, I follow my own path. And along the way, of course, there are going to be people who are disappointed in my decision, like the Spurs fan were when I decided to go and follow my dream. But then getting close to that dream, we get that call from City, of course, asking and giving their proposition to my agent. And he was looking at me and like, what do you think? And I'm like, just off. We're going to, this is what my dream is about. This is the badge, the shirt, the managers, the players, the history, the trophies. I'm coming from a small country, and this is important moment for me. I need to grab it with my both hands and not let it go, because it's not going to happen again for me. And it was just one direction for me all the way.
Dimitar, there's been rumours that you were kidnapped by Sir Alex Ferguson. It doesn't sound like they're true.
Well, he did he did wait for me on the airport, which I was very surprised to see, and I was shocked because, as I said, it can be intimidating, and especially for me, going and stepping out of the plane, and all of a sudden, bam, you see Sir Alex, and I'm like, what the, what do I say? How do I look? What if I say something? How I'm gonna sound? Am I sound stupid? And am I sound naive? And you start all these questions to ask yourself. But he was great, and he drove us to the base, to the Carrington, and in the car, you can imagine how it was like a movie. I was just sitting there, and what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? It was embarrassing.
You got in the car out of choice, though, yeah?
Sorry?
You got in the car out of your own choice. He didn't force you to get in the car. That was your choice, yeah?
Of course, everything was my choice. And believe me, even if I was intimidated, if it wasn't my choice, I can easily say, I'm not getting here or there. But this was so perfect day for me, exhausting, nervous. But in the end, it finished so well for me, because this was my top. This was my personal top.
You talk about the allure of Manchester United. Do you still feel like that's the case? We've got, for example, someone like Harry Kane at Tottenham. A lot of speculation about whether Manchester United might try and sign him. He's coming from Tottenham. He wants to play in the Champions League and win titles. Do you think there's still that allure for someone like him? And also, I know there's quite difficult negotiations between Manchester United and Spurs in the past. Daniel Levy, a tough negotiator. I just wondered your reflection on all that and what you think might the current situation be.
Well, for me personally, I am a bit biased here because I played for United. So sometimes my judgment can be clouded because I used to play for United. But the fact is that United is still one of the best club and the biggest club in the world. The results has not been the same since Sir Alex Ferguson left. That's the only difference. I think that the squad is full of talent because one way or another, the titles are not there. But I need to believe that it's gonna sooner or later they're gonna come back. Now, if you put a player in the case of Harry Kane and you make them choose between United, City, and Liverpool, probably looking at what is happening in the moment, unfortunately, maybe he's going to choose the other two teams, for example. But as I said, I played for United. I know what the badge means, and I know that sooner or later that success will come back again, for sure. In case of Harry Kane, let me tell you, he's probably the best in his position right now. Him and Lewandowski, I love watching them. What are they doing? Especially Harry Kane, getting deep, getting the ball, and then the people run, making the runs, and he's applied with that finish ball like Kevin De Bruyne is doing. He's unbelievable.
And do you think that he would fit in with Manchester United's style? You know, for the money that he might cost, do you think it makes sense for them to try and do that?
I think he's going to fit in every big club around the world. Just the way he plays football, you can see easily that the way he controlled the ball, the way he turned with the ball, with ease, no panic, everything is calculated. You know, you can smell the football is there just by watching it. You know, I can see it for sure. He's there, so he's going to have no problem going to a place and play. I would like him to stay in England for sure. What he's going to do, we're probably going to watch another soap opera in the summer. You know? But this football.
Speaking of soap operas and speaking of people that look like they might be going to Man City and then ended up signing for Manchester United, your old teammate, Cristiano Ronaldo, came to Manchester United. He made his return. I just wonder, what have you made of that comeback and you know, how his season's gone?
Well, I was surprised probably as everybody else, but I was pleasantly surprised because to have a legend, an icon of football going back to United, it's a special thing. Of course, he's a bit older, more mature now. His game is a bit different, but he's 37 and he scored 18 goals so far, which must be remarkable to play in the biggest league and best league in the world at 37 and score so many goals. I must admit that this is impressive. So for me, he's doing the right thing. He's scoring goals. He's still getting angry when the team is not playing well and he's losing, which shows a passion still there. So I think he can play another 2 or 3 years for sure.
One other striker that I'd quite like to ask you about is Marcus Rashford, who, you know, honed his skills on the streets of Wythenshawe. He's had a bit of a difficult season after an incredible start to his Manchester United career. What do you make of it? Do you see the confidence perhaps not being quite there to try those kind of things that you did on the pitch?
I for sure see that the confidence is missing in a way that you can just see it when he's moving around the pitch and touching the ball or going around and looking for the space. I hope and sincerely hope that he's going to find that form that he has inside him, because he's a great talent. I love watching him, and I love knowing that he had some of his quality playing on the streets and getting from the academy to the first team. This is like a fairy tale that you want to happen to you. And I hope that he's going to get back to the form that he had before. And I'm sure it's going to happen sooner or later. And I always like players like this when, like myself, I know that I had my quality playing on the streets, in the schools, every day when I was growing up. Battling with my peers or even bigger men than me, just going with my dad around the villages and getting smacked in the face everywhere, and people just don't give a about that. Just get up, boy. You know, you're gonna be fine. And this is something you don't appreciate at the moment. This is something you appreciate when you look back and you're like, this is what helps me to get stronger. You know.
You mentioned angriness there of Ronaldo, of Cavani, and clearly that is a great motivator for a lot of teams. You know, I'm sure the Alex Ferguson teams of the past had a lot of anger through them in the right way. Is that ever an issue? Is there a balance there between how much anger you kind of transmit or kind of the way that you communicate to teammates, how you want the ball or what you want to do?
Well, this is something that needs to be there. But you never take that personal. If you take it personal, it's not good for you. This is strictly football-wise. This stays on the pitch or the training ground. Because I remember when we play games in the training session, and we have two teams with 10 players facing each other, and everybody wants to win. There was a fight. There was a swearing. There was a kick. Peter was kicking everyone. You know, the referee was one of the second coaches. The moment he blew a foul, and then there was other team was thinking it was a no foul. Everybody was on top of him. At one point, he doesn't want to be a referee anymore. You know, everything because everybody wanted to win. But this stay on the pitch. The moment the training is finished, we are friends again. We hug each other. You know, and then you bring that attitude to the game. And again, it starts about football, not in personal. Because if I get mad every time Scorsese or Gixie or Rio was screaming at me, no, you see what they're saying, you start doing it, then you can give them back at them, you know, if they're not doing something that they're supposed to do, and only because you want to win. If you don't care, and if you don't love what you're doing, you'll be like, well, you know, whatever, good mate, you're going to do next time, you know, stuff like this. But you need to have fire.